Well, with the new year and New Year's resolutions, weight loss has been top of mind for a lot of people. That was the biggest resolution. So
Again, every year it is, right?
it is every year.
Some things never change, and right now, Ozempic makes up 65% of all prescriptions written. So what does that mean for the future of these weight loss drugs and how we battle obesity?
This morning, we're talking with Dr. Andres Acosta, one of the leading obesity doctors out there, medical advisor to the Mayo Clinic diet. Dr. Acosta, thanks for being with us.
Pleasure. Good morning to everyone and Happy New Year's, and hopefully everyone's sticking to the New Year's resolution now.
Right?
I mean, it's still early.
Right?
We're still there, but
Definitely.
I know we all can. Let's do it.
yeah.
Listen, doctor, I don't believe this. How is it even possible that 65% of all prescriptions could be Ozempic when you think about the people who are on diabetes, other medicines, blood thinners, allergy meds, statins? I mean, how is this even possible that we're at this point?
No, absolutely. The benefits of these medications is very clear, and that's why so many people are actually taking them, because we know that if we use these medications for weight loss, we're also treating diabetes, we're treating hypertension, we're treating many diseases. So it's fascinating that there has been such a big pickup from patients that want to be healthy, want to lose that extra weight that is driving all these other medical problems.
Well, I mean, clearly it is extremely popular. It's one fast way, I guess, to lose weight, a faster way than the traditional working out. Dr. Acosta, what about the side effects? Because when you think about it, you know, this is something that people get on, and we don't know yet really just like the long-term effects in terms of weight loss. So what would you say that the side effects would be, and can you be on it for a shorter period of time? I feel like we lost you, but I hope you're still there. Oh, there you go.
No,
okay.
I'm here. So so these medications, how they work is they actually make us feel full. So if we feel too full, then we're going to feel that, like I like to call Thanksgiving night fullness. Subsequently, we're going to feel nauseated, and then eventually we can get sick. That is the most common side effect with these medications. And if that's happening, we need to get a hold of that and then change our diet, go to a liquid diet, and try to prevent that nausea that leads then to vomiting and being sick. For that reason, we're sharing a lot of this information in our new Mayo Clinic diet program that is a companion program that we share tools that we've been using in the clinic to manage not only how to use these medications, but also how to deal with the side effects. We have other rare side effects. I don't think it's important to mention that, but it's important that you discuss this with your physicians. What are the other rare things that can happen with these medications? But the most common one, GI side effects, GI malaise, nausea, and vomiting.
And doctor, question for you. What would you say for people who use Ozempic for diabetes if they're concerned about the supply going down, especially if they already had trouble getting their supply? What advice would you give them to kind of quell those concerns?
Yeah, you know, when we have such a huge demand for these medications because we know it's helping so many people, unfortunately, pharmaceutical company, in this case Novo Nordisk, has been trying to catch up with the huge demand, and we know there have been supply issues. They continue to be supply issues at the lower doses, as many of the people have been taking these medications. We need to do a dose ascending, and we start with lower doses, and then we go to the highest doses. At the lowest doses, we continue to see a problem with the supply, but not at the highest doses, which is great. So if you're already at the high doses, stay there and try not to stop it. It will be a little bit more difficult right now for new people to start the medication. So we need to wait for these supply issues to change. And I know the pharmaceutical company, in this case Novo Nordisk, is working extremely hard day and night to try to solve the supply issues.
All right.
Dr. Acosta, I just want to ask you, it's $1,000 a month, isn't it, for one person to be on this? Are you seeing insurance companies cover this? Why aren't we seeing more really thin people? Or, you know, if there are that many people on it, 65% of all prescriptions written, and can you go on it just a little time, like 3 months, and then go off and be done with it for the rest of your life?
Yeah, so you highlighted two important things. The first thing is we're all working with payers, with insurance companies to start covering these obesity medications. Unfortunately, there's not widespread coverage. The government insurances are not covering these medications. And yeah, they have a high cost, so not everyone can afford it. So hopefully we see in the future that more insurance companies are covering these medications so we can improve access to patients. So what do we do if it's $1,000 a month and we cannot afford it? You know, I don't recommend my patients to put their savings into these medications, there are other options. There are other medications for obesity that might work as well for you. And then it's when we need to try to personalize the approach and try to find what is the right medication for me that I'm worth doing my investment to make sure that I do well on this medication. But this is really for patients who need to lose significant amount of weight. If there's people who want to lose 10 or 15 pounds, I recommend maybe trying to the more traditional way with a diet and exercise program, try to change your habits, and save these medications for these people who need to lose more weight, but still need to do the lifestyle changes. So I like to highlight when people say only need to lose 10 pounds, they need to do lifestyle changes. People who need to lose 30, 40, 50 or more pounds, they also need to do lifestyle changes. These are not magic injections. The weight will not evaporate. We still need to do the changes. We need to still commit to eating healthier, being more active, and adopting all those lifestyle changes that are essential for the long-term success.
All right, that's why you do it in concert with the Mayo Clinic diet, changing how you eat, how much you eat, when you eat, all that.
Lifestyle change. All right.
Right.
Dr. Acosta, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.